Hi. All right, Wednesday lunchtime chat. This is Prepping with Sarge. So, I am not a sergeant. I'm not a military sergeant. I'm not a police sergeant. It's just a nickname. Do our usual intro here. Some of you have been on my lunchtime chats before, so you kind of know what we're gonna be doing. And if you saw that thumbnail, we'll get into that in a minute. We'll give people a chance to get in here. So what do? Well, it's a prepping channel, so I do videos that help people to become more self-sufficient, become prepared. We got some gardening videos in there, right? For those of you who are trying to learn how to grow your own food, which is a great way to become more prepared. That's for our homesteaders and our people who are just trying to become more independent, food independent. Groceries are up. Whoa, big spider web. Let's back it up here a second. Figure out if I can get around this thing. All right, bear with me here a second. I see a few people popped in. Thank you. Ground is real wet today. I smelled snakes on the way in. Oh my gosh, we've had some more bear corn pop up. This is weird. All right, I'm gonna flip the camera here. I'll show you this. You guys will like this. Hang on. All right. Check that out. That's bear corn. So we had I actually thought it was done for the season, and we had some more pop up. Hey, family man prepper. That is a wild edible. Tends to grow. Oh, there's more over here. Cool. That is a wild edible. It tends to grow near oak trees, and it likes a lot of shade, but it is a wild edible. And that was kind of a cool find. I wasn't expecting to see that. Sorry guys, fixing the camera. So we do some gardening for food self-sufficiency. The groceries are up 7% already this year. Gasoline's way up. Paper goods are expected to go way up. It's just going to be like that, I think. It's going to be one of those years where we have a lot more. Like an average year inflation is like 2.7% or something like that. So, you know, if you're lucky enough that you have a job where your pay increases by 3%, then you're kind of staying ahead of the game a little bit. Anything less than that and you're losing. Just is what it is. And this year, I think that we're going to see that inflation is going to be a lot more than 2.7%. So what are we going to do about it? Well, you can cry to your boss and see if they give you a raise. Good luck. You can try to create some income, right? So maybe you do that through investments, or you do a side hustle, right? A side gig. Maybe you garden, sell some of your vegetables at the farmer's market. There's all kinds of different ways. Family man prepper is going to be an expensive summer. Yep. Silver Sea Captain, good to see you. If you push out that much cash. Sorry, let me fix the screen a little bit so I can see these a little bit better. Sorry, I gotta fix that, guys. I'm having a hard time seeing your messages, but that'll be better. All right. So what else do we do on the channel? Well, obviously I like to play in the woods. I'd love to do our wilderness survival foraging videos. I've been recording tons and tons of those. I'm banking those because I have a little vacation coming up. So I might release them then, or I may release those later on in the year. I'm not sure yet. We got tons of Muscadine Grape over here. Check this out. That's your Muscadine Grapevine leaves. Those are edible. And if I see any of the grapes, or right now I've seen them in a few different places where they're like starting to form, I'll show you, because it's kind of cool when they're like baby grapes like that. So we're gonna go over to those of you guys who were with me on that live stream when I found this. You kind of have an idea of where this video is going. So if you weren't there for that, I was actually out in these woods here, and I found this egg, which it was like right after Easter. So I thought, oh, somebody must have done a little Easter egg hunt out here with their kids. I opened it up, and there was a note in there and $5, and it said, if you found this, this is a gift for you. So when I took that, I said, okay, hey, Digital Prepper, so good to see you. So when I found that, I said, okay, well, we're gonna repay the favor. We're gonna pay this forward, right? So have you guys seen that movie, Pay It Forward? Stimulus money was bound. Yeah, that's part of it. Yeah, there's the stimulus money. Factories closed down for so long. We had the situation in the Suez Canal, which didn't help, so that slowed down products getting to where they needed to be, parts getting to where they needed to be. So there's a lot at play here. It's going to shape up to be a whopper of a year. So I hope you guys are figuring out ways to increase your income, or you're going to be falling backwards. And we'll try to do some of that on this channel. That's why I talk about financial preparedness. But back to paying it forward. If you haven't seen that movie, I don't know if it's on Netflix or Amazon Prime or wherever, try to catch that if you've never seen it. It's a really good movie. The concept is if somebody does you a big favor, it can be a little favor too though, instead of paying it back to them, think about paying it forward, right? And if you do a favor for somebody else, this is what I like to do sometimes. Sometimes I'll do something for somebody and they'll say, hey, I want to pay it back. What can I do for you? And I'll say, you don't. You're going to pay it forward, right? So you're kind of building this forward paying karma system where everybody's doing a little bit of good in the world for somebody else. It's a really nice concept. When you do stuff like that, you actually release in your brain chemicals like oxytocin, dopamine, serotonin, norepinephrine, and cool mushroom over here. Let me check this out. I'm gonna have to look this one up. See that there? I'm not sure what that is. I'm gonna try to look that one up later on. That's pretty cool though. I might come back through here and get some pictures of that. Side hustles is absolutely a good advice. The thing about a side hustle, right? Like I've got a couple that I do, is you're the boss. You decide your hours. You decide how much your value is, like how much you want to charge people for that, and you just get a lot more enjoyment out of that kind of thing when you're calling the shots on your own business. I encourage everybody to do it if you can. Now, some people, you've got maybe a sick family member at home, or you got a lot of kids or whatever, maybe you can't do it, but if you can do it, it's a really good idea. I'm looking for some of those grapes for you. There was a couple other cool things I found out here the other day. If I see them again, I'll stop us. So when you release those, going back to the oxytocin and norepinephrine, serotonin, dopamine, endorphins, all those happy chemicals in the brain that make you feel good, that actually does a lot of good things. It helps to not just boost your mood, but probably prolongs your life, right? It probably, because the more stress you put on your body, like cortisol is a stress hormone, and the more cortisol you have on your body, the more destructive it is. It, has a contributing factor to things like inflammation and physical pain, mental pain for sure. So you want to be doing things, that help you to feel better. That's part of survival too, right? So a lot of the survival channels will talk about Daily Dan, so good to see you. Hey, if I see a squatch out here, I'm gonna show you, and then I'm gonna run. Okay. So if you guys are enjoying this so far, please give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Trying to grow the channel. Had a good week so far this year on YouTube. Let's keep it rolling, and I really appreciate that you guys join in with me on these lunchtime chats. So paying it forward is one of those ways that you can do that. So what I decided if you watch that live stream, when I found that, thank you so much, Adrian and Nico, it's good to see you guys. When I found that yellow egg, I said on the live stream, I'm gonna pay it forward. I just wanted to think about how I did that. So that's what we're doing today. And liver shots release bad hormones. they will definitely increase your cortisol. So I'm heading out actually to that same spot where I found this. And I'm gonna leave it, and hopefully somebody else finds this. And when we get there, I'm gonna show you what I put in here today. I had to give it some thought. I wanted to make sure that I put some thought into this. Now, there's all kinds of, and this is like one of those areas where I probably could help out a little bit more in the preparedness and survival niche because of my background, being a licensed therapist. I did some videos last year around this time, around like managing your panic in survival situations and things like that. And I did a collaboration with Morgan from Rogue Preparedness over on her channel. You can see me over there where I was talking about that, managing your mindset. And a lot of the survival channels will talk about like you need to survive. If you're caught in the wilderness or whatever, to survive, you're gonna need shelter, you're gonna need water. You know, after a while, you're gonna need calories. You're probably gonna need a way to stay warm if it's wintertime, things like that. But one of the things that a lot of the channels and a lot of the blogs will leave out is mindset, right? Thinking positive, because I think a lot of people get into that place where they're giving up, you know, their anxiety takes over, their panic takes over, and you start getting those bad chemicals in the brain, and you start becoming less and less useful, less and less able to adapt to the crisis that you're dealing with, right? So as an example, now I'm not a military guy, I've never been in combat, but the guys that I work with in therapy talk about the combat cocktail, you know, adrenaline kicking up and all that kinds of things like that, right? What that does when you have that is it actually makes you faster, stronger, more resilient to pain. So when you need it, it's a good thing. In a very much in the same way, when you have a panic attack, the same thing's happening in your brain and you don't need that, right? So like you're sitting at home and something triggers you to have those neurotransmitters start to flick off in your brain. You start to sense something like maybe your heart's beating a little bit faster or whatever. And then you think, oh crap, here it comes. There's that panic attack. It feels like I'm gonna die. Then you get the full flush, like your adrenaline starts pumping, your noradrenaline starts pumping. And if you've ever had a panic attack, that's what's going on there. So I teach people as part of my practice how to manage that and how to stop that. I've got some videos over on my secondary channel on managing that. So if you have panic attacks, I'm not gonna go into that right here, but you can go over to my other channel, which is Health and Mental Health with Sarge. And I've got some good videos over there. I have not, coming to you as you're willing to pay. Oh, I hope so, yeah, karma, right? I love karma. But if not, then, you know, I'm blessing somebody else, which, you know, maybe you brighten somebody's day just a little bit, and that you still get the feel-good hormones, right? So this is like when you donate to charities and things like that, people say it feels really good. It does. It feels really good to donate to charities. It feels really good to help somebody else. You're releasing those awesome chemicals. So Adrian, Nico, you guys see that I put you guys, and a couple other people, I put you guys as moderators. But I've been in combat more than once, private security, okay. Yeah, so you know what I'm talking about with that combat cocktail. I don't know what this one is. Let's get a picture of this too. We got another kind of fungi here. Because you know Sarge is a fun guy. Hey, Her Healthy Home. I am in Charleston, South Carolina. I'm on East Coast, Eastern Standard Time. All right, I think it's around, did I miss it? I might have to backtrack. I think I missed the spot where I found this. I'm close. We're gonna backtrack a little bit. PTSD is awful, and you can get all kinds of problems like nightmares and dissociations, and I try to help people with those things too. And you can get panic attacks with that too. You can get both. I think it was actually a little bit up here. I think I passed the spot. But if not, if I can't find that same spot, I will, hey DA Sales, thanks for joining in. Yeah, I'm gonna get there in a second. We're gonna open this up. This is probably gonna be one of my shorter streams. So anyways, the mindset for when you're dealing with these situations, right? You want to develop those parts of the brain that think positive, right? This is why I think you guys notice when I do my channel, most of my videos out here, I try to stay as positive as I can, right? There's things that I'm really, really frustrated about in the world. Trust me, I can get on a tear, and you've probably seen it once or twice, but for the most part, I try to keep that positive mindset going. And I want you guys to develop that too, because the more you train your body and your brain in any direction, the more easy it's going to go to that, right? So you're in a crisis, you're going to resort to your level of training. So if you're always like, the world sucks, I'm pissed off, you know, or maybe you're, I'm anxious, I'm freaking out, I don't know what to do, I feel like I'm going to die, I have no control over the situation, you know. When you get into a crisis, guess what you're gonna go to. Now, of those two, anger is probably the more productive, right? But guess what's even more productive than anger is if you can say, okay, I'm a survivor, I can do this, we're gonna get out of this, we're gonna figure this out, I'm going to work with the people around me. We're going to do what we have to do to get through this. Everybody's going home. Everybody's staying safe, right? Wow. That's a whole lot more productive. And that's something else that needs to be incorporated into preparedness and survival. So what's my experience with this? So I've been, a storm survivor. I've not been in combat. So that's probably, I mean, I'll think about it, but that's the thing I can come up with right now. So when my wife and I are dealing with hurricanes that are about to press down on us, we have a discussion. It's a family discussion. Neither one of us makes the decision alone as to like, are we going to evac or are we sheltering in place, right? And most of the time we shelter in place, unless there's a really good reason not to. The reason that I do that, right, I'll talk about this more when we get into more hurricane videos, is I got a lot of elderly people in my neighborhood, and there's a group of us. I have a customs officer who lives next to me. There's a police officer around the corner. There's a retired police officer around the corner. So we kind of keep an eye out on things to the extent that it's safe for our families to do so. So if we have if it's within our ability to stay home, we do. And there's I've got videos out there about the looting issues and things that go on with hurricanes too. But when my wife and I are getting ready, we see a hurricane coming. We look at the news, we watch all the reports, we make our decision together, and both of us, the agreement we have is both of us also has the right to trump the other one if we start to feel like we're making a bad decision, right? We've used this a couple times. So you got your team, right? You got your little cohort that you're making those decisions together. You're more prepared, so you're not freaking out. And even with all that, when it gets down to like that do or die moment, what always happens every single time we have a hurricane is we get to that moment where we are, just gonna let this person out of our way. We'll make a decision together, and then when it gets to that do or die moment, we always have that little panic of like, oh crap, did we make the right decision, right? And so that's where you want to have that mindset already developed, so that you can say, okay, we talked about this, we made our plans, we're going to be safe, we're going to be okay, what else can we do? And you just kind of shift it, okay? That's the mindset piece of preparedness and survival. All right, let's go ahead. I'm gonna show you what's in the egg. So I had thought about doing the dimes, and the reason I chose not to do silver dimes is I'm afraid that even if I put a note in there, somebody's not gonna realize what it is. So anything pre-65 dimes is silver, or at least part silver, and they're just gonna spend it, and that's gonna be a waste. So I decided not to do that. So I put a couple of little treasures in here. I'm gonna switch the camera. Just bear with me here for a second. I'll show you what's in there, and then we're gonna make sure nobody's around. We're gonna drop it in the same spot where I found it. All right. So this is, if you remember, if you saw that video, this is where I found it. All right. And what did I put in here? Okay. So a couple little shells that I found over at Folly Beach, and then some semi-precious polished stones. I think that's rose quartz. I don't remember what that one is. If anybody knows, you're welcome to put it in there. And that's a rune. I think that's warrior. It's been so long since I got this. I don't remember. If anybody knows what that rune is, go ahead and comment down below or put it in the comments. But we're gonna put that out there. And I wrote a little note here. So I said, if you find this, you have been blessed with some treasures. Please consider refilling the egg and hiding it out here for the next person. Pay the joy forward. So we're going to put this in here. And this is where I found it. So we're just going to drop it in there, so somebody's looking down, they'll see it. And that's it. And you know what? I just feel really good about doing that. I hope that we're going to put it out there to the universe, and maybe a little kid will find that. But it doesn't matter. It'll go where it needs to go. So, Amazonite. Okay. Yeah, and if I can get Wild West Stacker to watch this, he can probably confirm. He knows a lot about those semi-precious stones. But I've collected a few of those over the year. A lot of times they're gifts, right? And so when I was thinking about this, I thought, I've had these stones for several years. It's time for me to give them to somebody else. We're gonna pass it on, pay it forward. And I have no doubt that somebody will gift me with some of those again in the future. So Hopefully that spreads a little joy. If it reaches a little kid, that makes me so happy. But if not, you know, hopefully it brings somebody just a little bit of happiness and they releases some of those good chemicals for them. Maybe somebody's having a bad day or whatever. I'm getting ready to get out of here. I was trying to find, there was one more cool little edible out here that I filmed for you guys. Is this it? Yeah, I think I got it. Hang on. The rune is a warrior. Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so yeah, let's see if I can switch this. All right, bear with me here just for a second. I got a little camera shake coming. All right. Thank you. I appreciate that, Daily Dan. All right, see, let me see. I'll try to get this in camera for you. Bear with me just a second. Okay, see these white flowers? Okay, I got a short that I'm working on with this, but this is Partridge Berry. See the red? That's Partridge Berry. I've done videos about that before. The leaves and the berries are edible. And that's what the flowers look like. This is the only time of year you'll see those flowers. So you always want to be able to, with these wild edibles, you want to be able to identify them regardless of the season, right? So I want to be able to identify those whether the berries are there or not, because the leaves are still edible. And there's a lot of good medicinal qualities with that one. Helps with inflammation. There's some medicinal qualities actually, well, let me clarify. Not medical advice, right? Obviously, I'm not medical advice. My statements are not evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration, but some cultures believe that that plant has medicinal qualities for women during childbirth. Okay, so you can look that up. It's called partridge berries. I'm gonna go ahead and start winding us down here. I gotta get back to work. I appreciate everybody. Please remember to be checking out everybody's channels. Support each other. You guys are such an awesome community. I hope you're having a good hump day. Remember to pay it forward. Remember to keep that positive mental mindset as much as you can. Train that part of the brain. Don't train your brain to be in panic mode. Don't train your brain to be in rage mode, right? Rage is better than panic, but rage can be very, very destructive too. And those of you who've ever felt that, I know I have at times in my life, you can ruin a friendship real fast. You can burn a bridge real fast. Silver Sea Captain, you have a good day. Pay it forward, sir. I think that's it. Keep planting your seeds. Keep stacking your silver. This is Prepping with Sarge. Everybody have a great day. Thank you, Digital Prepper. Thank you, Daily Dan. I didn't hear any wolves howling today. Oh, real quick, before you go. There's a story. I tried to post this up on my community tab, but somebody told me the link's not working. A woman was living in the woods in Utah by choice, basically surviving on wild plants. So you can look it up, just Google search New York Post, Utah missing woman found, and you can read the whole story. So always be learning about the wild edibles in your area. All right, guys, I really